All right. So, thank you for having me back. This is Kawa no Nushi Tsuri 2 for the SNES. Right now, we're going to be doing the mother story. At the beginning of it, we're going to be loading into the mother and then loading into the brother to be able to trade a rod to the mother just to add a bit of consistency for the final fish. And we're gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Rodas, take it away.
Okay. So, like Ronan we just said, we're going to start on Mother. The story behind this is we had an old lady, an old friend come in from out of town. And when she came to visit, they were talking about how healthy all their family and stuff were. And they said that there's a legend that their mom followed about eating the golden carp. And that is supposed to help prevent illness and keep people healthy. So, after hearing that tale, the mother decides to go out on a quest to get the golden carp, or the koi, as it's referred to, so she can make some kabuto yaki, which is roasted fish head for her family. And everything like that. So at the start, we did a little setup beforehand. In this game, you catch fish and then you can go and sell them. And once you sell a fish, there's a special thing in all the fish shops called the Fish of the Day. And that will switch between, I believe, like 4 or 5 different fish for various different prices. And we have it set up so the fish that we're catching right here at the beginning, the yamames, are going to sell for 100 each,
Yeah,
I believe, in
100
this
each.
game. Yeah. So we're going to sell 2 yamames, and then that'll give us enough money to get throughout the game since we got the rod from the brother. So the brother has all the rods because I believe we had there's a password for the brother in this particular game that gives him all the items. So we can use those to trade back and forth between all the characters to make things a little more streamlined. So now that we're finished with Area 1, we're going to make our way into the cave, and that will lead us into Area 2. Once we get into Area 2, we will be buying the magnifying glass, and no, we don't get to. So yeah, I think the magnifying glass is going to be our main purchase.
Yeah, it's just the magnifying glass in this town.
Yeah. And then we're going to go over to the east here, and we're going to fish into this little area, and we're going to be looking for a 3-spine stickleback. And we need this 3-spine stickleback to trade to a guy in town that is a craftsman, and he is making the basin that we are going to use to be able to float through the water to get into Area 3. So we got a nice quick catch right there, and yeah, we're gonna get the basin and be on our way. So to get into Area 3, there is a bear blocking the cave that we need to get into, but the bear's favorite food is a cherry salmon. So cherry salmons are located all the way on the western side of the map. So we are going to go over as far west as we can and go up north a little bit, and we're going to get a cherry salmon that we will use to lure the bear out of his hibernation and allow us to get access into the cave. Now, right now, we don't have a lot of healing items on us, and we don't have money to buy them, so we have what we start with. Once we get inside the cave, now that we have the magnifying glass, we will be able to search for mushrooms that we will use as healing items, or we will get poison mushrooms that we'll use to feed to random encounters and enemies that we get in the game that will allow us to get through them unscathed. So right now we are looking, the cherry salmon can be any size of the fish. So we got it. So this is one of the few fights in the game that can be worrisome. I know when my wife was learning this particular run, it took her over an hour to catch this guy the first time, just because he has a very high breakout with the line tension. So if you're not perfectly on point with your controlling your tension and stuff, he'll get away from you. But Run, being the master fisher that he is, cleared it with ease. And Run in a Week here is currently the world record holder for all categories in this game, I believe.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, a little bit about this series. This is the Nushi series, or the River King series, and there are 16 games in this set. And they go between the River King and the Sea King. Run did the Sea King, the first one on the Super Nintendo, earlier this morning, way early this morning, and now we're on to the only other Super Nintendo one. So this started on the Famicom. The original one has a English translation, so if anyone is interested in playing that, we have a password % in that. That is a very fun casual run, or casual, like the start off run. So you don't have to like do any leveling or grinding or anything, and it gives you all the items, so you can just pretty much be in go mode from the very beginning. And the last title was out in 2008, and that was on the DS, and that was Mystic Valley, I believe. So pretty much any console between the Famicom and the DS, there's at least one iteration out on all of those consoles. So right now, Run was looking for mushrooms and stuff in the cave using the magnifying glass. So he got enough, and once we get into a counter with the enemies, we're way under leveled from where we're supposed to be at. So we're going to be feeding these guys mushrooms to get through them with every enemy except the mole. The mole has a very high escape rate on, so we will save all of our mushrooms and stuff for them. The brown mushrooms we can use to give ourselves 10 HP. So we'll be using that once we get into the next zone to help keep us alive. So right now we have 17 health. We're going up to another craftsman, and the guy is currently working on a canoe. And he's just finishing up, but he could use some fresh, unpasteurized milk. And we're gonna get the empty milk bottle from inside his house, and we're gonna go fill it up at a cow at the beginning of this area. And since we're doing that for the old guy, he's gonna give us the canoe that he just spent like weeks making for one bottle of milk. So pretty much we're going to sit in the water, and then we're just gonna float on down, avoiding the enemy encounters along the way. And one thing about this game is if you have a particular fish on hand and you get an encounter in this series, the enemies can steal the items from you. So you could lose the fish that you need, so if you need it for a particular quest item. So we try to stay off land as much as possible, just because we can't control if we get our fish stolen and whatnot. So and we're gonna drink some milk ourselves, and that just gave us full health. Because we need to have enough. The canoe, the basin allows us to float around in the water and fish from it, but the basin or the canoe will allow us to go up like currents and various other things like that, so we can use it to get up into zone 4. Now this game has 4 characters. All the characters are relatively the same. So once we get after this and we start the father run, about 90% of the run is going to be identical to what we are seeing right now. So out of these 16 games, 4 of them have official ports from Japanese, and that's Legend of the River King on the Game Boy Color. Then we have Legend of the River King 2, which was just on the Game Boy Color. We had, there's an unreleased ROM out there of Legend of the Sea King, which Nintendo translated and fixed up, but they never released. There is a Wonderful Journey on the PlayStation 2, and then there is Mystic Valley on the DS. Kawa no Nushi Tsuri 2, the one that we're currently playing, has been translated, but the patch hasn't been applied to the ROM fully. And then there's a band translation for Kawa no Nushi Tsuri 1 on the regular Nintendo, and that is about 99% done. There was a few things that the translators wanted to address, but they never got around to finishing. But it's there's enough to do through. So we went in there and we bought a special hook for the koi, and we bought a firework. And we're going to use, there's the thing is blocking this little hut right here is a fox. And for some reason we use the fireworks to scare the fox in these games to get him to move and clear out for us. Once we get into this next area, we're going to be in Stillwater. And to help us save some HP while looking for the fish, we are going to be buffering our menu. And when we do that, we can move without taking any penalty to our health. Because when we're in the water and we're swimming, depending on if we're going with the current or against it, we lose HP. Once we catch this gold carp, we have it set up that if we eat one of the red mushrooms, we'll pass out, and we will pass out and respawn in the last area that we had to save. So in the towns and the areas, you'll find these little Buddha statues, and if you give them an offering, it'll create a save at that particular location, and if you don't do it, it'll respawn you back at your house. So we use that to death warp back to our starting house so we could end the game. So we are in the final area. We are going to come up to a little pier here on the left, and we will start looking for, I believe, 2 bubbles in the water, and those are going to be what we're aiming for. There will be 2 to 3 in the particular area that we're going for, and it'll be, well, hopefully we get lucky and we'll get the gold carp on the first hook. And currently, we are on world record pace right now. Knock on wood. All right, just a regular carp, koi, I guess is the technical term. All right, now we play a guessing game. So, in most of the River King games, you have an entire area where your fish is located at, and you have to try to guess where the fish is at. So we've had, in various other games, like in the first 2, the River King is in the exact same spot. Once we went to the Super Nintendo, they threw them in with...
thank God.
This is the fish we're looking for. So as we pull in the carp, if you look at our line, you'll see that the line will straighten out and it'll form a perfect line. Once that straight line happens, we'll let go. As the line gets straighter, the tension is building up. So we'll release it to not lose the fish. As you see in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, the line is working up into the diagonal corner, and then it's going to the left a little bit. Once it hits, I believe, like 10 to 15 pixels outside of that diagonal going left, I think we'll hit the wall where the fish will start pulling the fish out. And because to get the fish, we have to get them all the way to the right and all the way to the top of the screen. The one that we have the best guide for in place right now is Legend of the River King. It is it could be like a 29-minute run, or it could be like an hour and a half, depending on how lucky you get. It's an RNG nightmare. Me personally, the Nintendo 64 ones are my favorite. There's like none. I haven't played a fishing game that can hold a candle to those. But the NES one has password percent in it, and you can literally just run through the game. So that's an easy one to start off on. I believe the world record in that is a little under half an hour running through all the zones. I think it's like 28 minutes.
No. Yeah, I have like a 28 something in that.
But yeah, any game that you have available, like any console/emulator that you prefer, there's literally probably a fishing game on it. The Game Boy ones are probably the most accessible, just like skill-wise and everything like that.
Oh my god.
One thing I did forget to mention is this series is made by the same people that work on Harvest Moon. So if you see similar art style between those two games, that's why it's the same studio worked on them. Rata, the Turtle Master. But yeah, if you're looking for quick runs, the Nintendo 64 has a few minutes sub 10. The Legend of the Sea King, Umi no Nushi Tsuri, has a few categories under 10 minutes. So if you're looking for a nice quick fishing experience, those two are really good. Most of the fishing games are under an hour. Legend of the River King 1, a run in a week here, has a world record at 36 minutes.
Yeah, 36:49, I think. And it looks like we're about to land this guy.
And I believe this is going to be a world record.
It is, yeah. By like 4-ish minutes.
I thought you had like a 2022.
Yeah.
Unless that was your summer best.
Yeah, and my timer's at like 18:49 right now, so.
GG.
Yeah. That went quite well. The fish did give me a bit of trouble, but
yeah, great run overall.
definitely.
After the luck we had before the stream, hey, take this any day of the week.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, I'm gonna go right into the next run.
No, they said they need to switch layout. We needed to
Oh.
give them a little break.
Yep. Sorry, forgot.
So I'm assuming they'll let us know when the layout is shift over.
Probably.
If you wanted to show them the little fish catalog, I don't know if you backed out too far to do that.
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.